Now then, he's the man who informed the nation about perhaps one of the stranger symptoms of COVID-19, the loss of smell and taste. But now epidemiologist Tim Spector has turned his attention to gut health and will soon be releasing his latest book called Food for Life. And he joins me now. Professor Tim Spector, a very good morning to you. Thanks so much for talking to us. A lot of people at this time of year think about their diet, don't they? They may have had a particularly indulgent Christmas. They may feel they want to lose a bit of weight. They may just want to feel healthier going into the new year. So to those people now, what would your advice be?
The advice that we have, and also the company Zoe behind the COVID app and the Zoe Health app, is that we shouldn't be making dramatic decisions now that are going to be short-lasting and over-ambitious and lead to failure. So that we should be looking at changes to our diet that are going to be sustainable, long-lasting, and that are generally going to be good and healthy for our gut, and not try and do things like a crash diet or calorie counting that have been shown scientifically not to work. So it's more about getting resolutions that are small, little nudges, little changes that really can improve your diet in this way. And the Zoe team have got together a habit tracking app, the same one that is still tracking COVID and flu at the moment, to help people make these changes. And they can download that free app if they want. But the key really is, yes, do make some changes, but I think an easy way to think about this is if you think about improving your gut health over the next year with 5 simple tips, you can really make big improvements to your general health. And the five tips to remember are: eat 30 different plants a week. That includes nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. Try and eat the rainbow, so lots of colorful vegetables and plants. Have regular fermented foods every day. In small amounts is really important. Give your gut a rest, so try and eat in a smaller eating window, so your gut microbes get a break, and you have at least 12 to 14 hours where they're not eating or doing things, they can rest. And finally, reduce your dependency on ultra-processed foods that we know make you hungrier and are generally bad for your gut microbes and your metabolism. So I think it's about changing the mindset, avoiding things like calorie-controlled diets, crash diets, doing things to extreme levels that you can't support. It's about making little changes that last you the year.
Can you explain why good gut health means good overall health?
Because your gut microbes, this community of gut microbes, the microbiome, is actually inherently linked to your immune system. And it's like a little mini pharmacy. All these bugs are producing chemicals that, in a way, communicate with your immune system, most of which is in your gut. And it's that immune system that fights COVID, fights flu, but also fights aging, cancer, and has a key role in heart disease and dampening down inflammation. So we know that your gut microbes now are really a sort of newly discovered organ that are pretty vital for your body. And that's why we're changing our mind about nutrition. So rather than it just being fuel, we really think of it as a way of feeding this new organ in our bodies so that we have the best defenses for health and for, prevent rapid aging.
Absolutely fascinating stuff. I've started drinking kombucha, which is very nice. I'm hoping that's one of the things that you'd approve of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the 5 Ks. You want to remember it?
Yeah.
So you've got kefir, which is fermented milk. Kombucha is fermented tea. You've got kraut, which is like sauerkraut. And you've got kimchi, which is sort of Korean chilies and pickles. And if you remember those, you're going to be doing pretty well. So any fermented food regularly.
I'm going to increase my shopping list. Before we let you go, Tim Spector, I do want to ask you about COVID-19 because you've done so much studying of it. There is a new variant that seems to be sweeping across the US. Should we be worried about that, do you think?
Slightly, but not. I think some of the hype about it has been exaggerated. This is the new Omicron variant, the XBB, and it's only about 4% in the UK. So it hasn't had a big impact here. And we're not, luckily at the moment, we're seeing, according to the Zoe app, we're now seeing a clear drop in COVID cases and in flu and cold cases. So in a way, we might be lucky with the timing of this, that we're actually coming out, and it's less likely that any new variant is going to have a major impact. But like all of these variants, it's really important that we continue to monitor it, and we are doing that with the Zoe app as we see whether the symptoms have changed. So far, we're not seeing any change in symptoms. It's still the cold-like symptoms, the sore throat that is up on our list. But good to remain vigilant, but I don't think real cause for concern at the moment for those people who are worried. There's lots of other things to worry about, though.
Oh, yes, well, indeed, and sadly we don't have the time to go into those right now. But Professor Tim Spector, thanks very much indeed for your time this morning. Really interesting stuff. We appreciate it.